The December quarter inflation number has come in. It's fallen. It's down to 4.1% for the December quarter. That's below market expectations. The numbers just released by the ABS. Let's bring in our business reporter, Ed Boyd. Inflation has cooled as expected in the fourth quarter, Ed.
Yeah, Kieran, inflation down a little bit more than anticipated. Market was pricing in 4.3% for inflation during the calendar year 2023. Instead, it's gone down to 4.1%. So looking on a quarterly basis, inflation during that December quarter increased by 0.6% over that 3-month period. The market was expecting a 0.8% increase in that December quarter. So inflation has cooled a little bit more than anticipated. So this is obviously good news for the Reserve Bank, which is obviously trying to get inflation down to that 2 to 3% target band. So we've seen inflation on a downwards trajectory now for the last couple of years. Remember, it peaked in the December quarter in 2022 at 7.8%. So it's slowly started to come down. Remember, the RBA has hit the Australian economy with a series of heavy interest rate rises. We've got the cash rate right now at 4.35%. And those impacts on the economy have starting to be felt. You can see here, this is the annual change. You've got 4.1% inflation, which I think is the lowest level now in roughly 2 years. Then you can see the quarterly change there, up about 0.6%. But if we have another graphic on the next page, we might be able to see what quarterly CPI has done. Look at that peak there in December 22 at 7.8%. You can really see inflation was pretty much stable for 3 or 4 years leading up to COVID, and then it skyrocketed and it's now starting to come back down. If we've got another chart, we can show you some of the things that went up and down in price during that December quarter. You can see food costs were still elevated, up about 4.5%, but clothing up 1.1%, but that's down on the quarter before. Housing costs, we know rents are still high, and we know there are still people spending quite a lot of money on petrol as well. So all those things together, though, we've seen the CPI index during that December quarter and the annual year of 2023 fall to 4.1%. So a bit lower than anticipated, Kieran.
Yeah, indeed, and tracking where the government, the RBA, would like it. What about the monthly inflation number?
Yeah, look, we've also got today an extra bit of information which the ABS started releasing about a year ago, which is this monthly inflation indicator. So it doesn't track everything in the CPI basket, but you can see that the market was expecting monthly CPI to come in at 3.7%. Instead, it's come in, again, a bit lower than expected at 3.4%. So a bit bigger cooling off here than anyone really thought. And you've got the annual trimmed mean, which strips out big rises and falls in costs, coming in at 4%. And the trimmed mean is the figure that the RBA really looks at, Kieran, when they make their cash rate call. You can see here, this is what happened with monthly inflation. We talked about the December 2022 quarter being a particularly high one. Well, the month of December 2022, you can see inflation was actually 8.4% on a monthly basis, and it has really come down pretty quickly over the past 12 months to now be at just 3.4%.